And delegates, thank you too. So if you haven't met me, I'm Jeff Pulver, and just a few things really. First of all, tomorrow's program is, I've done these 140 conferences for about a year and a half, and for what it's worth, tomorrow's one-day content is the best we've had to date. I don't know if it's the diversity of speakers, the content, the location, but I'm really excited about what we're going to have. It will be a long day and a short day. If you're speaking, you average have 10 minutes to talk. So be succinct and leave an impression with people. It'll be a little blurry because some talks will talk into the next, but it should be a lot of fun. In addition to being here in Boston, though, I'm actually here to recruit people to come to Detroit. A little background, back in May, I was asked by the people from the city of Detroit to come out to Detroit and make an event happen. And in all the years I've done events in my life, usually I pick a city, I do it, I don't think too much about it, I just make it happen. But something happened when I went to Detroit and I met these individual people who, many of which had an opportunity to leave their job, leave the city and do something else. And I met a group of people that feel that being in Detroit right now is sort of living through a renaissance, a rebirth, a reboot. And they asked me if I would help them put their city, help a little bit by just running a 140 conference in the city. So I said yes. And then, to my absolute amazement, General Motors came in to sponsor me and made sure that I had no risks. So now I have every risk in the world because I have to deliver. And on top of that, one of the things I shared with GM the day that I met with them in May was that I believe in gratuitous acts of kindness. I happen to be someone who survived 9/11 because I was fired. If you've ever been fired from your day job, take it for what it's worth, but I got my life saved because in July of '96 I got fired, and I worked in a place that lost 700 people on 9/11. So, you know, I look at 9/11 and I just think of how lucky I am and feel guilt from some stuff, but I get over that, but it's still hard. But I do believe in gratuitous acts of kindness. I believe in being lucky is okay. And so originally when I was talking to General Motors about what we could do in Detroit the day before the 140 conference there to make an impression, they spoke about such things as giving $14,000 to 100 people so that we could have $140 gifts and give them to charities, NGOs, hospitals, shelters. But when we spoke to these people, these charities, when they heard that people who knew social media were coming to Detroit, they actually said, rather than give money, we'd like to learn to have knowledge. And so I'm on a quest right now looking for people who want to represent Boston or whatever city you're from and come to Detroit on October 19th and teach people, teach the charities, teach the NGOs, teach the not-for-profits something that you know about social media, because sometimes it's not the money you give, it's the knowledge you share. So that's what we're trying to do, is make October 19th a day of giving. And about a month ago, actually 3 weeks ago, I traveled across the Midwest because I discovered that while the 140 Detroit's about Detroit, it's about the people from the city of every city in the Midwest. And so Alan Weinkrantz, who he drove, he's actually here tonight, we drove 3,046 miles. We started out on August 22nd. We did Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, Cincinnati. Then we went from Cincinnati to Indianapolis, to Bloomington, to St. Louis. Then we did St. Louis, Kansas City, Missouri, and ended up that night in Omaha. Then we did Omaha, Sioux Falls, and Fargo. Then we did Minneapolis, Field of Dreams, Madison, ended up in Chicago, Detroit, ended up in Cleveland. And every place I stopped, I looked for people to come to Detroit to be an ambassador from their town. And when I started asking people to come to Detroit when we were in Cincinnati, people loved the idea, but said they can't come to Detroit. What about Cincinnati? What about Boston? So if you like the idea of sharing your knowledge, I ask you, if you can't come to Detroit on October 19th, to come find a charity, an NGO, a not-for-profit here in Boston and give it yourself. And I've set up a website for this, for people who want to share time, and I'm trying to connect charities with people, you know, with causes of people who care. And I believe that individually we all make a difference. And it's like, you know, living through 9/11 and just feeling that guilt, every day I wake up and I think that we can make the world a better place, we just have to try. So October 19th, the day of giving, October 20th, Detroit. And the thing is, if any of you here want to come to Detroit and be an ambassador for your town or from Boston, you can attend for free. All I ask is you help spread the word about what we're doing in Detroit. So it's an offer, an opportunity to give of yourself, travel, check out a city which is going through a change that no other city in America has really gone through. Anyway, that's about what I wanted to talk about tonight. But I ask you just to think about October. Also, one of the things we discovered in the Midwest is that social media has no resonance. Anyone here in this room today who calls themselves a social media guru, expert, or doing business in the world of social media, chances are you will not get too many customers from southern Minnesota, from Nebraska, from parts of North Dakota and South Dakota and Iowa. They all know Facebook or Bookface, but they don't. No, they call it Bookface, right? We were in a diner in Omaha having breakfast, and we meet the daughter, the daughter of the owner whose grandmother told them they should be on Facebook. And we were doing interviews with all these wonderful, amazing people, but the word social media just doesn't matter there. It just has not made it yet. But you know, connecting as human beings has. And so one of the things we've discovered on this road is that while people may be in here to make money, it's all about soul. It's all about connecting with people. The businesses that understand that at the end of the day, we're doing business with people, and brands can be people too, there's a lot of value there. And I think that it's one of the things I'm hoping to get out of tomorrow's conference is for people to understand that. And by the way, if you're at all taken about giving in October 19th in Detroit, I don't know if anyone here in this room tonight is from a small town, but on November 1st, I'm doing something absolutely crazy. We're doing a conference in Hutchinson, Kansas. You may wonder why Hutchinson, Kansas. Because in America, 65 million people were born and live in a big town. Everybody else lives and born in a small town. And for the first time ever, we're actually looking to do an event in a small town, because I think the real-time web affects people in the small town as much as it affects people in the big town. So that's November 1st. And if you want to travel to Kansas, you too can come there for free. Because we need Boston in the house. We need Boston represented. So anyway, that was all I wanted to share, but we have a giveaway, don't we? What are we giving away?
Well, before we give away, we actually want to celebrate your birthday with you.
Oh,
Oh, don't blush and don't shy. I think because I have the biggest mouth, they asked me to come up and why you're laughing, I'm not sure. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jill. Happy birthday to you have to blow the candle now. Big fish. Yay! See, we're surprises. All surprises here. So now, we would like to do our raffle. Yes, but before we do, we actually want to thank our sponsors. We want to thank Lansdowne Pub. So a round of applause for them. Where's Ellen? She's back there. She doesn't even know we're acknowledging her, which is fine. And then Avenue 3, thank you very much for all of your support this evening. So Lois, come on up. I'm not actually sure what we're giving away.
20 people, 20-person parties.
All right, so for some reason, this venue here wants to give away 5 parties to people where you can host 20 people. That comes with 20 beers, 20 appetizers, and 20 chances for fun, I suppose. So if you'd like to participate in this raffle, make sure you walk around. Let's make sure you have the cards. Anyone else want to be in the raffle? No? All right. So pick the first winner. Okay. WBUR. Who's from WBUR? Where is he? John. Hey, John, come on up. All right. You too can be a winner on The Price is Right. So here you go. You just won yourself a reception for 20 of your closest friends. All right. We have another winner.